Hi, I'm Steve Czar with GoLex.com, and we're here today going to be talking with all the coaches for the Lexington Baseball Association. They recently wrapped up their season. On paper, it's not going to look good, but there was a lot of improvement, and that's what the coaches are going to tell you, I hope. So we'll get into it.
So this season it was, I would say, kind of started out as a big struggle. We started out with very few guys, which was kind of rough, but as we kind of got some pony guys onto the team, I thought we started to develop a lot. Every guy on the team started to develop into their own player, and I thought that was kind of
You had trouble with numbers early on, really?
yeah, early on we really had trouble with numbers. That kind of, I don't think it necessarily hurt us as much as it made us closer together as a team. I think we grew as a team, of course, but I think we found a lot of friends within each other. A lot of guys who didn't know each other ended up being really good friends by the end of the season, it seemed like.
I definitely think I think individual players with confidence is where one of our biggest growths, at least that I saw, was we had a lot of areas where there were players that they were scared to play certain positions or didn't know how they were going to be able to play certain positions, but they stepped out of their comfort zone because we needed them to, and it kind of allowed them to grow individually and see a lot of progress in not only their how they play baseball, but also them as individuals through the program and as people outside of baseball as well. So it allowed them to become more comfortable with talking about those scenarios or those situations and helping them out in those areas.
I think that's where actually not having a bunch of guys helped us, because they got that experience in the games and got better that way, where they just got so many reps at so many different positions where they improved and grew as players that way as well.
Well, I think the guys that we have has a lot of potential. They really do. We had a few really, really big key leaders on this team that helped people grow in ways that even we couldn't help, because sometimes it just helps having that teammate there that understands the struggle or understands the things that you're going through to help you through those issues. And so I think we have a lot of players that are kind of made up the base of our group that really could develop into really good ball players. It's going to take the work ethic and the grind that we really saw this season, with the whole being able to work in positions that maybe they didn't really feel comfortable with, or being able to work with coaches that they didn't really feel as comfortable with as well. So it'll kind of help them grow in a couple years to hopefully start to see a lot more improvement, not only in their own individual play, but in a lot of the team play as well.
I think starting just back with the basics, mechanics and fundamentals, just how you swing a bat, how you throw a ball, how you feel a ball is going to be, the three most important areas that will help us develop into the future, help these guys. We had a lot of guys that were inexperienced, whether they're first year, second year players, and I think just make sure we hit all those things again and keep pushing that stuff will make a big difference in the end.
Yeah, I think another one is the mental space of baseball takes a lot. It's a very, very brain-driven game, and so you kind of have to have the mental capacity to understand the game in a way that a lot of other teams don't. And so just kind of going over and reviewing videos, seeing how certain things work on the baseball field and off the baseball field, how certain etiquette is, or even just learning the game, just sitting there and studying it and going out and making it an everyday thing of opening a book and realizing what you can do in a certain position. That sort of stuff is just kind of helps out as well. Because it's all in confidence and knowing what to do in a certain scenario. And if you don't have that confidence, then sooner or later a ball's going to get hit to you and you're not going to know what to do. And so that also takes a lot of perseverance when it comes to baseball.
I think it helped out, first numbers-wise, that helped out a lot, but I think it pushed some of our guys some of our junior guys farther, because they actually had to compete a little bit more for their spots on the field. We had an 8th grade catcher come in, and he caught quite a few games for us. I think that helped push Corey a little bit more behind the plate and made both of them a better player, because they're both competing for playing time at that spot.
Yeah.
So they both had to be better to find that position on the field. And I think in other areas, that same thing, we had some guys try out some different positions, and I think that competition with having those extra guys and young guys stepping in, and if they play better than a junior guy, I think that shows the junior guy that they can work a little bit harder and get better
And in all honesty, I mean, it helps the Pony Leaders out a lot too, because it allows them the playing time at a higher level to be able to learn baseball at a bigger level than what they're playing at, so they can see a little bit more competition in the Class A teams that we do play, especially when it comes to playing teams like Kearney or Grand Island or Hastings. Like, they're getting to see those really, really good ball clubs play at a level that is higher than theirs, and it allows them to see where they're going to be in a couple of years and how they need to progress to be able to keep up with those guys. So I think it really helped them out as well.
Okay, so there you have it. That's a wrap on the Lexington Baseball Association, their summer season in 2022. Hope you enjoyed the interviews. This was kind of a first for us. But these guys will be back at it in the hitting complexes and in the fielding house probably the week after Thanksgiving. If you want to get started with Lexington baseball, recommend getting a hold of Vince Leibert or Didi Gonzalez. They'll point you in the right direction and get you started with the fundamentals. So with that, I'm Steve Czar with GoLex.com. And remember, go big, go orange.